When we start to understand that what we like to call negative emotions or our darkness and dark energy really as just a different state of consciousness, a different placement of our awareness, we can better alchemize it into what we want it to be. Because really, what is our darkness? What is the things that come up within us that we so badly try to shove down so that it doesn't get out? Because if it gets out, it'll express in some way. But it's going to express no matter what you do. It can come in the back door, come through the back door or the front door. But anyways, what is that actually trying to do? It's trying to get our awareness to see things more clearly for what they are so that we can be more free. So I would say that our darkness is actually light. It's love. Awareness is love. And so we have this awesome opportunity to be in these physical perspectives, to have an experience where we have all these interactions with all types of energies, right? It's very diverse here. There's a lot of variety. And if you can get to the point where you start to see darkness, what most people call dark energy, as just a different type of energy, it's a lower level of consciousness. You can alchemize it better because you're not as afraid of it. You recognize that it's not actually a scary and bad thing that you need to run from. In fact, you should not run from it at all. And so sometimes people hear that and they think, what are you trying to get me to do? Like, be with my darkness? Like, that's just gonna make me dark. No, I'm not saying that. Recognize your darkness and become aware of it. You can sit with it if you'd like to get to know it a little bit more. That might actually be a good thing for you. And from that place of awareness, you can think, feel, and do differently. You can become differently. You know, if you don't know yourself, how are you supposed to change yourself? How are you supposed to become what you want? How are you supposed to be who and what you want? Not saying you've got to change, but a lot of us are in places where we're running from this sort of tornado in our life. We're trying to get away from something, and we just run and we run and we run, and we spend the rest of our lives running from this tornado in all ways that you can think of. We all do it. We've all done it. You know, very few people actually get to a place where they say, you know what, I'm going to turn around towards the tornado and I'm going to let it swallow me. And when it does that, you realize that, oh my God, I'm okay. I'm fine. And in fact, I'm actually better. Turning towards your darkness doesn't mean being dark. It doesn't mean sitting in a low vibration. It means becoming fully aware with it. And then from that place of complete awareness, as much as you can possibly gain within that darkness, within yourself, you choose to alchemize it. Okay? So owning your darkness is not the scary thing. I think the word darkness holds a lot of darkness, you know. It just sounds so dark. And the fact of the matter is we are humans and we have so many different aspects to our psyche. And a lot of people do not want to be aware of those aspects. And it's just a fact of being human. Of course, our main essence in the core of who we are is absolutely love. But as a human, we wouldn't be able to have an experience of being a human if we weren't able to experience all these different ranges of energy and emotion. And a lot of us, due to our pasts, our childhood, our trauma, we held on to a lot of baggage that was not ours, and we claim it as ours unconsciously. So the more conscious we become, we start to realize that, oh my God, I need to look at this so that I can heal it. That's what it wants me to do. It's not here to scare me or terrorize me or haunt me, although it will definitely feel that way if you never give it any attention. It's here to help you see things more clearly, to see your light more clearly, to see your love more clearly, to see others' light and love more clearly. That's all. Everything here is guiding you back to that, right? And I think a lot of people get confused because there's different types of teachers, spiritual teachers that talk about shadow work specifically, and really going into the darkness so as to make your way back out to the light. And there's other teachers who just solely focus on positive focus, the light, that's it. And I'm not saying one or the other is better, but sometimes different things are better for where you're at in your journey. And sometimes you switch, it's very unique to your situation and to who you are. And neither is right or wrong. It just really is. And there's so many ways to make yourself come back out to the light. And what always makes me feel better, whatever I'm doing and wherever I am in my journey, is knowing that no matter where I am and no matter what I accomplish and come out of and complete another cycle of becoming more aware of myself, that there's gonna be another layer. It's like an onion. So it's not an ending journey. You're not in a rush. You're not in competition with anybody. You're not even in competition with yourself. What you think about you does matter, but you're not in competition with yourself. So for me, how I do this is I spend time looking and feeling really into my negative emotions. And I talk to them like they're their own separate entities, because they are. And I try to become as aware of them as I possibly can so that I can guide myself back out of them. Because when you actually become conscious, like really conscious of the parts of yourself that are scary, like if you have a deep anxiety problem like I did, if you have a deep depression, PTSD, some kind of trauma, suicidality, there's a message that lies within that, like its own person. And when you can fully see that message, you're able to guide yourself out of that dark place. So darkness is not really darkness. It's really light trying to guide you out. But if you can see from this more neutral perspective and this more broadened perspective, where all of these things are just happening so that you can have an experience, it's not scary and dark and all of these things that we make it out to be. It's the same thing with people that avoid certain teachers. And I'm not saying that if you don't like a certain teacher, like you can't not like them or you can't not disagree with them. I'm just saying a lot of the time people are like, oh, stay away from that, right? Stay away from reading those books, they're dark. Stay away from that person, they're pretty dark. Really, if you understand how the universe works as a mirror hologram, a big giant interactive mirror, you understand that you're just pointing out your darkness and putting it out here, meaning your unconsciousness. That's all. That's why I am fascinated by people. I'm not actually confused by it, I get it, but it fascinates me still that people don't trust themselves enough. They think they have to shield themselves from darkness and from other people and from whatever it is that they're focused on. And they can't recognize that it's all coming from within them. It's very rarely what's coming from without outside of you. I mean, what's outside of you is within you. It really never is coming from outside of you. This is just reflecting, but it's so real that, doesn't feel like it sometimes, right? Because we are in this human perspective. So it's very cool. Can be very scary sometimes. It can be like awesome sometimes, right? It can feel really shitty sometimes. And it can feel amazing sometimes. And beautiful and light and warm and quick like a cheetah. And just so beautiful. But when it's dark, we feel like we're moving through sludge. We feel like we can't move sometimes. And it all has to do with not being willing to look at our darkness. And there's no right or wrong way to do that. It's how you want to do that. And, I don't really have any specific processes for looking at your shadow. I just try to stay as aware as I possibly can. I'm very into meditation and breath work, and I mostly spend my time just trying to stay conscious throughout my day. And through that, I can become aware of the things that I'm doing, and that will naturally help me to look at my shadows, right? This is what we all can do. It's all about being conscious. And really, I want you to know that there's not much serious things going on here. Yes, there is, and there is things going on our planet that are very sad and horrible and corrupt and terrible. But the only way that we can change those things is to change ourselves by becoming conscious and learning to live from a place of love and light, which paradoxically means we need to look at our darkness. Our darkness, it's really not darkness. So I encourage you to be with yourself. Love all aspects of yourself. You are not one thing. You are an ecosystem of many things, like a forest. So we like to identify ourselves as something, one thing, and that makes us feel better. I'm a good person, right? I'm a good person. So if we believe that about ourselves, we're unwilling to look at the part of us that may be bad, We're unwilling to look at that. But it's what's going to help you to create more harmony in your life. So darkness is not really darkness. It's really light disguised as darkness, trying to get you to come into the light, trying to get you to bring those aspects of yourself into the light, which is just awareness. Because awareness, my friends, will neutralize everything, no matter what you're going through, no matter what circumstances are going on in your life. Nothing is bad enough that awareness can't totally neutralize the situation. Because when you are aware, there is a way. And there's things that you will see as solutions that you didn't see before. It's very true. Because if you saw the solutions that you were looking for your life right now and for your problems, you would have thought of it already. But you need a higher consciousness to stream in to give you that. You need inspiration. It doesn't just come from the brain. You need to tune in, but that requires us becoming conscious, and that requires us seeing the aspects of ourselves that are unconscious. And it's a never-ending game, and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be explorative, like children. Children are just becoming aware. They're not really thinking about good, bad, right, wrong. If I'm a good person, if I'm a bad person, they're just exploring, and they're curious, and they're interacting with their world, which is themselves. And there's no judgment, and that's huge, and I understand we live in a world of massive contrast and a lot of things. There's just so many things going on at once, and there's a lot of corruption. And when we begin to change ourselves, we will begin a domino effect. There's so many movements going on in this planet right now. So many teachers that have had their own awakening experiences and put together their own methods to heal and to grow and to become more conscious. And I can't believe how many people are jumping on these boats and taking authority over themselves and over their own consciousness. This is what will drive out the darkness that we see in this world. Now, again, it's not light. I do this and because it's not really darkness when you look at it from this broader perspective. But yes, this darkness. So that's what's going to drive out the darkness. You have to drive it out within yourself with light. And it really is all light, but it's a game of both so that we can have the game. It's all for expansion, ultimately. But you are light and you are love, and don't reject any aspect of yourselves. It wants you to look at it. It wants you to see it so that you can see more clearly and have a more beautiful, vivid life. And you can do it right now. And you're doing exceptionally well. Have a good week.